Oh, well, the time is 18:32, Saturday night, the 7th. And I've had to scrub a few videos, but that's, no big deal. I've had a bit of a concern. I brought this new stabilizer, it's Hemp, it's called. And I got it for doing outside logs. And I bought this fantastic, going on there, Shure SV88 microphone, which has a lightning connector and will connect into the end of the iPhone. I'm waffling on. We will get the Tulsi plant. I'm just flowing in the spirit. That's what's happened. And I may, apart from that, bless your heart, those who did actually, I don't know how you do it, but probably had the software. I made this whole video with the iPhone. It's only a second thing, and it's all on its side. Yeah. Well, I thought, in my mind, I'll post it because people can see it's me. And it's not really the pictures that matter. It's not that kind of a video, you know what I mean? With loads of nice, funny special effects and that. It is just straight in the here and now, unedited, right? Videos, because that is what our channeling is. And hi, person's just joined. So I let it go. It's about 40 odd minutes long. Well, that's nothing for me. I mean, I have done video. Like I say, I have been doing this for years, but not really so well equipped. And some of them are a bit rough. So I've told people that if they're interested, they can check out my other work on YouTube. I might as well bung that in, because you can see how that I've definitely evolved as a person, my appearance, and the way I channel. Bobby has got a lot to do with this, but that's another topic. And the information in there was very good, the actual words. But I did say, well, look, hold on, Graham. You know, I mean, this is obviously just a cock up. It's not thing, and you're acclimatizing to the equipment, and I shall continue on that vein as well. It appears that possibly this nice stabilizer I've got won't allow me to use my new microphone, which I've got for outside work particularly, and I've got a proper muffler on it, to cut out, they call them windshields, right? And I haven't even attempted because I'm so disheartened, because I'm thinking, excuse me, cosmic humor, for fuck's sake, Graham. But I did watch quite a few reviews, but I didn't see this one. And the guy mentions that the socket, the lightning connector port where the microphone or the visual needs to plug in is actually right against the gimbal, so you can't get at the lightning. It's bad design. Have a little go there. Chinese for you. And so it's a cheap one as well. I might have good value, because what you can pay for these gimbals, and that's what I thought. Hold on, can't really justify spending this, really. But it turns out that I can use the microphone, but it will only be for handheld. Again, because the way the gimbal's designed, the lightning port you can't access. I shall check, because you could, obviously the logic is, and that's probably why the other video was all upside down. If I turn the iPhone completely round so that the lightning port is on the outside, where you can attach an external microphone, but that might be why the other one I did was all upside down on its side. So positive thing. I've just made my second batch, or I've made a batch already, of my Tulsi herb infused oil, right? And I've made a mixture, really. Tulsi plant is the main plant, and it's got some, well, I know about it through Krishna consciousness. It is a very special herb, but looking up online, it is related to helping people with diabetes, lowering blood sugar, and various other medicinal properties. And you can buy it, it's sold organic as well, in 100-gram sachet. And it's very tasty as well, nice. They actually market it as a tea. It's herb leaf chopped up, but you know, it's many people drink it. But it has actually got very a lot of medicinal capacities. And so I've used another herb from Jamaica as well, which is attributed, and I learned about that from my goddaughter, funny enough, in the Philippines, because this particular herb, it's actually a tree. Yeah. And it's got various names. I had a job tracking it down, but it produces a fruit, and it's a cherry, similar to a cherry. But the leaves, any part, as well as the fruits, right, are all very medicinal. And this has clearly been scientifically verified very recently, right, by a Filipino student. It was on Facebook. And she has done research, and the scientific bodies, or some of them, have obviously tested her research and have concluded, yes, this tree, I'm going to say plant, but it is actually a tree, has immense potential for diabetes. And if you look at Filipino people, there obviously are some obese people, but they're probably generally townies, get it, and do, you know, all your Mac burgers and all this sort of crap. But the actual local people who do live near to the land and who do eat this particular cherry, because it's quite very nice to eat in the kids, and it goes free, you know, it's wild. If you follow me, people can pick it, has now been scientifically, through research, obviously, verified. Well, they use the word cure diabetes. So I've got that herb, the name will come to me, because it does go under lots of different names. Jamacan Cherry, whatever, because it grows in Jamaica. And it's got a proper Latin name, but whatever. Anybody interested, you put that in your web browser and you'll come up with loads of results. But if you just put that, there you go. Jamacan Cherry, attributed as being a cure for diabetes. And it's actually on Facebook, actually. Whatever. So that herb's been incorporated, as well as the Tulsi. And I've got some CBD, or stress, legal medicinal marijuana, again sold as hemp tea, So there's 3 herbs that have been mixed together. Also, I had as a base on one of the brews, hemp seed oil. Now, some people are aware that hemp is a fantastic plant, many uses for humanity. It's not just a sacred medicinal herb that is now being verified again by research, and that's the right way forward. As having tremendous medicinal potential for humanity, but also it can be an alternative for trees. You can even see, I've posted on my page, you can get hemp cement. And houses are built with this material. It's excellent insulation, and of course it's saving trees. Hemp grows very quickly, up to 7 foot or 8 foot high. So there's a lot of fiber material in, well, I can't use the word CBD hemp, but yeah, hemp grown for that capacity. So it's very fibrous, tall, and well, they used to make rope with hemp, but that's another issue. So it's got a lot of uses for mankind. Apart from not only a medicinal uses, so those who are ill, as we found out, people that get strokes, various conditions that don't or haven't been effectively treated or able to be treated with the synthetic drugs. Unfortunately, the pharmaceutical industry is trying to isolate, or has, components of hemp, marijuana, whatever, and then synthesize it, and then can justify their rip-off charges for the medicinal compounds that they're making. Now, as far as I'm concerned, you can't beat God. You can't beat the natural plant. It's got well over 100 different compounds that scientists are still probably verifying, but each one of those has a place and a part to play. So to just try and isolate a few components and then synthetically manufacture it, well, we only have to look at the damage that synthetic drugs, heroin, well, not pronounce that right, cocaine, and yet there's a purely natural form of cocaine. It's just a leaf. And the people in Peru, I might have got that wrong, South America, just chew the leaves. And it does give them incredible energy and enables them to run up mountains and all the rest of it, go down coal mines and all the rest of it that these people have to endure. And it's a cultural thing. They're not really doing it to get high, but they're doing it to just get through the day. And it does obviously improve their bodies. Why are we going on? I've said this thing on drugs. I'm just waiting for a response. Well, I'm not. Obviously, there's a bit of ego in this because I've been through the drug scene and have been persecuted, right, literally, for my usage of marijuana. Now, I will only use legal CBD hemp marijuana. So there's no THC in this, and I'm using it for what it is used for or intended. It is a sacrament, treated as a sacrament. Yeah, But if it's looked upon as being a drug, then that's how it will be. So people will get it to just get a bit stupefied, all the rest of it, that whatever they think's going to happen to them, because the media, our mates, the DEA, and all the rest of it, portrayed a totally pathetic portrayal of what marijuana was or is. And only people who've actually tried it could know cosmic humour 18 plus what a load of bollocks it was and is. And this is done through corruption. Who do you think gains from marijuana being illegal? All the law enforcement agencies that are there to, what would you call it, enforce the illegality. Well, anybody will tell you that's involved in the scene in this country, it's the drug squad who bust the dealers, if you like, and then don't actually deposit all that they have busted, if you follow me, into police custody where it's meant to be destroyed. I mean, it's a joke. Where I used to live, Portsmouth, Gosport, Fareham, dealers would get busted, people will go along to the court, they get lawyers and all the rest. And then when the evidence was run out, they were always a bit light. And in one very famous case in Portsmouth, because the dealer, we were getting sick of this, and we knew the names of the police officers involved. Even talk of taking a hit out on them because they were well out of order, right? And it was common. I'm sorry, I'm just going in the spirit. You find it boring. It's only 17 minutes. We'll see where we're going with this. Probably nowhere. Yeah. And it was a laughing joke amongst the scene. Got busted with 10 kilos, but they declared he was found with only 5. And in this case, the guy actually spoke out, even though you could say, well, that's crazy, he's going to get a bigger sentence. I was just so sick of it. No, it wasn't, you lying cunt. There was 10 kilos. And yet only 5 kilos to deposit, like I say. Right, that's it, right. When I got busted, which incidentally was all thrown out of court, an interesting tale, but it's a fact, just like I have now, I've made my own medicine by moving in the spirit, doing some research, blessing it as well. These herbs, like I said, are perfectly legal. Tulsi is perfectly legal. Jamacan Cherry is perfectly legal, related to diabetes. And there was a little bit of hemp put in. And then there was hemp seed oil. Yeah? Because hemp seed is very nutritious. But that's that, and this is this. So here, actually, funny enough, in this loft, although it's really nicely decorated, there was a fire. I had an altar, and I was burning incense, you know, your real crystal incense. I had like a censer and a charcoal tablets you get like they have in the church. Right, you light them, blow them out, and they glow, and then you put your incense crystals on. The real pure stuff, incense, myrrh, right? Yeah, I had a big stash. Bought it in bulk because I was going to use a lot. And my ritual generally occurred early hours in the morning, all using headphones, was I was listening to mantras, right? But not to disturb the neighbours, so I'm up early hours of the morning. And then it come towards breakfast time, about 7:30, as it got light. I'd nip out, obviously put my incense burner out, and I'd finish and stuff, right? And I'd go down to the local Asda store, which had a very good cafe there. And all the local people knew about it, it's good. And you could get a nice whacking big breakfast, very reasonable price. And that's how I started my day, if you follow me, of being grounded and just interacting with humanity, if you follow me. So I went to Asda and had my breakfast and took my time. Came back about 8:30. I had my car then. I had a beautiful, funny enough, Toyota hybrid car. Yaris, fantastic little car. And I go driving in my car, but it wasn't a Jaguar, but it was a Toyota. And so I came home. And when I got to the end of where I lived, the street, the road had been blocked off and there was a fire. There was ambulances, about 3 fire engines, and all the people had been evicted round about my home, obviously in Sussex at my home, on the street. So I stopped my car, and walked in, because you could walk in, but the road, and there it was, black here, this is what it was, black smoke billowing out, but it was actually incense. So it wasn't big flames, but it looked dramatic. And I was watching it, and of course they wouldn't let anyone go in, and I was sussing. So then I eventually get a policeman's attention, and also people said, "Oh, that's him, that's him." The rumours that have been put about, that there was Kayla gas bottles in here. So hence all the police and the thing, the world there's going to be an explosion. Load of bollocks, just gossip. Narrow-minded idiots, whatever. But then the plot thickens. I made my own shaman's mix. Simple, it's done like it's a medicine. My own incense. Now, this incense was based upon St. Pedro cactus powder, perfectly legal. I'd imported it in from South America. And it was described as incense, a beautiful red powder, just the cactuses dried in the sun and then ground into a powder, right? Salvia divorum. That's 2 herbs, right? Perfectly legal, and you buy it and they dry it in the sun, but it's still actually moist. It isn't crinkly dry, but they do it to stop that from rotting. And you buy it in a big tube, big kilo bag, but it's like a big tube, bulky, because like I say, to describe it, it looks like a dock leaf. Nothing like cannabis, a big leaf, dock leaf. That was there. And I got my mix, which only had, this is the interesting point, and this is why I've done the same theory here, less than 1% of some marijuana. I can say it now, but whatever, I'm going to get incriminated, but it's passed. No, because this is carrying on to the point. I had an indoor growing cabinet, and I'd got 12, and they're only this tall, you know what I mean? So they're special cannabis plants that were developed to be grown within a cabinet and to mature in a certain time. The cabinet's got a timer on it, and the length of light is dropped and the plant thinks it's winter, so it goes into its mode and produces its cannabis resin, that is, which is there to protect the seeds and all the rest of it. So I had 12 plants, not tons, you know, and I'd harvest this, and I'd only took the leaves and the bud, no stems, no seeds that we don't need. So it was easy to harvest. You just hung the plants up, they dried, and then you just run your hands down, and you could see the resin, and you'd rub that back in. My mouth was shit. So when I made this shaman's mix, which funny enough was called Blue Unicorn, although I had, this is in Thailand, but I'm spoiling the story. Right, Blue Unicorn. We just get the fire done, Graham, and then move on to how you took some ridiculously crazy, because I don't know what, I took some to Thailand, and the laws there, I was jumping the gun a bit. Fire, Graham. Fire. Right. So the fire brigade come up here. Did you hear that? Oh, idiot with a car, and it sounded backfiring like hell. But anyway, so fire at my house, smoke bellowing, it's up here, bellowing through the window. The fire brigade had been told all this rubbish, but they went in with breathe, had to breathe liquid. It was just dense smoke. And this wasn't my shaman's mix. This was proper conventional incense. Frankincense, myrrh, getting proper crystals. But that, what had happened, a very freak accident. The chances of this happening are pretty rare. I'd left the charcoal smouldering and it had spat. Now these charcoal tablets are tested and quality control, and obviously you're not meant to do that, but occasionally you get one that does. And that, when it spat into a big box of frankincense incense, a big box, and that's what had actually set alight. So it's more of a smouldering than, if you follow me, flames, but the smoke, you know, it looked bad, but it was worse than it was. So the fire brigade came up here. Here's your interesting point. Someone illegally opened one of my jars, because these are all in the actual, losing the bottom bit, the shaman's mix, Blue Unicorn, which was basically, like I say, San Pedro cactus powder mainly, salvia d'avorum mainly, and just a fraction of cannabis, and all blended and prayed and chanted over and whatever, all put through a coffee grinder. This is all in the spirit. Of course, the heat. People now know, but we didn't then. You're meant to decarboloxate or whatever cannabis. So there's actually a process. You heat it up, and this then releases various compounds. And it's now done, so I've just done it myself. Not for that reason. But anyway, that's what I was doing. The heat generated by this little coffee grinder, I could see release the resin, and I just rubbed it back into the mix and went through the whole lot like that. And it's all made down then into a powder, again concentrating the potency. So it wasn't herbal matter, it had actually all been ground in a coffee grinder down to a powder. But it was in, to keep it fresh, proper kilner jars, you know, that are sealed, airtight. Oh, and I put a nice label on it. Like I say, called it Blue Unicorn. I think I called it Shaman's Mix. And it stunk. This is the other interesting point. I'm going to ruin it again. Any idiot knows that marijuana's got a beautiful, sweet smell. But this fireman, to impress his mate, this stuff stunk because it is mainly San Pedro cactus powder and salvia divinorum, right? Repeat that again. Salvia divinorum doesn't look anything like cannabis. So like a big dock leaf, right? But this fireman illegally opened one of my jars, smelled it and went, oh, fucking hell, this is drugs. When I reiterate, marijuana's got a beautiful, sweet smell. So, you know, any idiot who knows anything would have known it wasn't. But because of that, well, the police are in attendance anyway, because, again, this has made the papers as well. All the people around my house, right, were evacuated and were standing in the fucking road, really pissed off. But their fault. I've never had a cosmetic cough fucking Kayla gas bottle here in my life. But you know how gossips are. This is their mentality. They're all there and they're all trying to impress each other. Oh, yeah, well, I knew he was a drug dealer all along, yeah. Keeps himself to himself, which again is bollocks. I mean, this all came out later because my brother actually was a sacrament distributor who only distributed sacraments, i.e. LSD and marijuana. Didn't touch synthetic filth. Bit of cutting word coming through, right? So again, we go round the circle. So this fireman illegally opened my jar, smelt it, wrongly put 2 and 2 together and got 6, right? And on the strength of this fireman, the police got involved. Well, they had to be there. Of course, they had to be there anyway. Like, so it's always been. And against this gossip, mind you, I suppose you go, well, Graham, you know, if someone thought you got Kayla gas bottles in there, how they did, but you know, well, the police have got to take that into consideration. And until the fireman who went all through the house and whatever and found fuck all Kayla gas, right? It's too late then. Everyone had been involved from I don't know how the paper wrote it up. I never did bother, but they did a hell of a write-up. And of course, I hope they did slander themselves or slander me. Not a drug dealer. We go back to that point. My neighbour, Doris, bless her heart, the police went and interviewed her. Does Mr. Clark have a lot of people coming and going from his house? Oh, no. No, Graham keeps himself to himself. Doesn't have people coming to the house, you know, like a drug dealer would, right? And then the drug squad. Because I caught it's videoed as well. I sport jumping the gun again, Graham. What's the time? Right. Back to the Byron thing. So they came in here, they doused it down with some kind of chemical, whatever, but the place wasn't ruined, and they ripped off a bit out of the wall to check the wooden panels weren't damaged, because, you know, they got bored, right? And they weren't. It was just scorched, but there was no actual damage, because they did actually eventually let me back into the property, which they don't. You know, obviously, if the house is suddenly a health hazard because it, you know, structurally it's been damaged, right? But the thing is, I had thousands of pounds of perfectly legal herbs that I'd imported from South America. Big drums of San Pedro cactus, all with labels on, all have been through the customs, a perfectly legal company. This wasn't some drug dealer. It's a company sponsored by the government. And it was advertised and displayed as what it was. Incense. Salvia Devorum was. It wasn't, I to believe it's still not illegal now. They call it the diviner's sage, right? Because it is really only for people who are like shamanistic inclined. It's not a drug to get high on. It puts you on the astral. It's a shaman's herb, if you follow me. So you don't go to a party, take something and get literally out of your body or your head, but it's more, no, it's not a party drug. And that's why it's illegal. Dear me. So, illegal search, right? All my material had to be taken away. And this includes books. I had books to do with cannabis culture, if you like, and all that. But they're books. But they didn't want to lose face. Oh, they'd gone all through my home, got out my personal documents, right? And I had an inheritance. So there was £60,000, but deposited perfectly legal from an inheritance, tax-free, all the charges you get, you know, on inheritance have been paid, and it's special money, but they put 2 and 2 together again and got 6. And this got put all around the neighbourhood. Oh, we had fucking kilos of it up there. Oh, you know, he was a drug dealer, you know, and all this shit. No wonder I went into retreat. Narrow-minded, excuse me, cunt idiots, gossipers. What does the Bible say about gossipers? People, again, the only way of making themselves thing is they lie. Oh yeah, I knew that. Oh yeah, did you know he had that? Oh yeah, I heard he got £100,000 in the bank. Oh, he's going to go there for years and all this shit. It took months for this to get. In fact, he never got to court. That's the other point. Right, finish the story. So the police, I announced myself. I'd like to go into my home. The fire had been put out. And they said, can you come here a minute? You know, thing. And I said to his neighbours, that's him. Fucking. Right, so I sit in the car, yes. I knew my rights, as long as you don't admit anything, which I didn't, because as it turned out, I was right. Bought it again. There was less than 1% of marijuana or cannabis in that material. And it'd just be like an alcohol thing. You know, when people were bootlegging, if it was crap, and most of it was, they would just axe it and they wouldn't arrest them, you know, because it's not really alcoholic. It was below, I don't know, 4%, whatever sort of a lot of it was, because it's just crap they're making to make money. Same analogy with me. So I'm then taken to the police station. I insisted. No, he gets that. They said, do you mind if we video this? I said, no, I've got nothing to hide. I even said, yeah, I'm a shaman. This is my religion. Marijuana should be legalized. But then they tried to, you know, trap me, but I had enough. So being honest, but you also realise that no, had I have admitted anything, it would have gone to trial. But so I said, And this drug squad officer was getting really wound up because he'd been made, excuse me, to look a cunt. He should have known by smelling this material that it wasn't marijuana. Fucking, right. And so he got the jar there, one of them. There's 5, 6 or 7 jars, big kiln jars. And it'll last me a year, because it's treated like incense and you put it on the fire and whatever. It is a ritual, right? And I'm colourblind, and that's a fact. What's that there then? Because it was mainly the colour, although it's powder, it's all little bits and whatever. And was it brown or green, whatever? What's that there then? Of course, I wasn't going to admit it now. I said, I don't know, mate, I'm colourblind. It looked all the same to me, but that really freaked out. And he nearly lost it. Well, he did lose it. He actually grabbed hold of me. Didn't actually hit me, but it was assault. And it was videoed. Another reason why this was thrown out of court. They did this to try and entrap me, and it backfired on them because I was moving in the spirit. When I was channeling and being guided. But I didn't get provocative. Now, other people have got angry at them. Look, you bunch of cunts. You know what I mean? There's nothing illegal there. And I want all my fucking property back. And I want fucking receipts. Oh, yeah. Thousands of pounds of legal material. Again, they jumped the gun. So it went before the fiscal. That's the process in Scotland. By the time the fiscal decided that they weren't going to do anything about it, wasn't even going to go to court because it was a non-existent case and it was all circumstantial. And when he did get to all the facts about how neighbours had said this and had lied and how my good neighbour said, no, he doesn't have people round here. Then they went to I challenged them to that. I said, look, mate, this is the drug squad officer. You know all the pubs out here that drug dealing goes on. Because they do. I've never fucking set foot in any of them. You ask. And it's right. No cunt knew me. And that I said to him, I was getting sarky. Doesn't quite sound the remit for a drug dealer, does it? Doesn't go to pubs, so how the hell's he dealing? Thing. No cunt knows me. I was on retreat, and you wonder why? See, I sense this in the spirit, the sort of people I'm surrounded with. Pathetic, narrow-minded, ignorant cunts. Excuse my French. And so it didn't. But here's the sad bit. I'm a man of my word, and I wanted to go to Thailand. So that's where the bit ties in, and I'd already booked it. And they said to me, I told them, I said, well, this probably isn't going to get a hearing for months, but contact. But they did let me go. Well, they couldn't. I wasn't charged with anything. They had no evidence because had they had analysed that material, again going down to that, such a small percentage actually was, they'd had a hell of a job separating these free herbs that had all been into a powder and all the rest of it. And then when it came out, they'd have to give that. Oh, actually, there was less than 1% of marijuana in this plant material. They got laughed out. Well, laughed at me, and I made a fucking out of it. So my material was taken, worth thousands of pounds, and it was destroyed. Again, spoiled the story. Because you have to wait months. All I got returned was some things they'd taken, a bone knife, which was on my altar, because that's where all this fire happened, right? Two telephones that didn't even have SIM cards in them, because they were used in Thailand. So I hope they get that they do names, but they had the mumps. Wouldn't have taken them long to suss that out. I think I lied, not lie, but there was a SIM card, yeah, but it's a Thai SIM card, and there's fuck all numbers on it. It was mainly used just for my girlfriend. That was it. We kept in contact with mobile, you know. Oh, yeah, well, whatever. You can hi, John Cherry, and so that again was a red herring. Again, them jumping to conclusions or getting 2 and 2 and making 6. But I was set up because I think the angelic kingdom, probably a different level of kingdom was involved. Think about it. A charcoal tablet, professionally made. They're very high quality, and somehow it spat. But it had good results. I better finish the story. It's 46 minutes. But you can understand, because my brother went through this. He was hounded and throdated, because my brother's in spirit, and my brother's probably one of my helpers. And it's probably him that's coming through now. Oh, yeah, he had been mistreated by the police, all right. Oh, we better throw that in, Graham. He was arrested because he was trying to help a friend. This is the same policeman I've mentioned in the Gosport Portsmouth area, right? And this was a Sunday, and this pub, it was known, there's even signs up in the pub, no blow area. Why? Because it's a lovely lady that run the pub, and she let all the heads come in. And we had it was a law. You don't deal in here, mate, because she gets busted. So if the police come in and find any marijuana on anybody, or the normal process is you just chuck it on the floor, the landlady gets busted. Similar analogy, a party, same thing. Police raid a party, everyone just chucks their stuff on and the only person that could be charged is the owner of the house, right? So there's signs up, no blow area, and that's it. And if people wanted to deal, they go outside. That's it. And anyone who broke that, well, they would be shunned. That's right. This is a no blow area. It was a Sunday. But this policeman, this is so out of order as well. And it made the papers. And everybody in there who witnessed this was appalled. South Sea is a known naval port, yeah? And so you remember anyone knows naval police that have these big clubs, but they've got no jurisdiction on the public. They're there to just keep unruly sailors in order and arrest them, and they go around in black maroon. Those who've never lived in a place, I won't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but yeah, they're military police. And they are armed with a sort of club thing, but it's soft, but it can hurt you. You know, it's, you know, not a solid object, but anyway. This drug squad officer, with 2 or 3 associates, came into this pub, and everyone knew who the fuck he was, right? And he picked on a friend, or he wouldn't have picked on my brother, he'd have nutted. Or in a fair fight, my brother could handle him there. Oh, yeah, he learned that, funny enough, from prison. Yeah, that's another story. So about his days. Oh, yeah, he wants to tell his story. So these drug squad officers come in and they attempt to arrest this, well, shall we say, weak person. You know, he wouldn't have been up to much, but he was screaming, "Dave, help me, Dave!" This freaked a few people out. So he walked. Well, he got close to them, and they were being out of order. They were twisting his arm, right. Now, anyone who knows anything about Hell's Angels will now understand this. Leave it! And there were people who dropped their fucking points. Fucking hell, he's an angel. Because they are, if you like, cosmic policemen. If you had any dealings with angels, you'll know what I'm talking about. I've witnessed this quite a few times. Unemployment office, and there's this guy with a broken arm in plaster, drunk as fuck, and we go, it's absolutely pathetic, and got into this bit of dispute with this other guy who wasn't drunk and then didn't have a broken arm, get it, in a sling, plaster, and he was going, and this idiot asshole started to do all this, boxing thing, and whacked him 2 or 3 times, and then went to kick him. He did get to kick him once, and then this angel stepped in. Leave it! I think he shit himself because the power that comes through. And I've witnessed that a few times, because a bit of a lad, salt of the earth. Yeah. And my brother had obviously met some angels in prison, and he is taught how to put the nut in. I shouldn't be perpetrating this, I'm being told. Violence. What it simply means is that if you're getting into a problem and someone's being aggressive to you, instead of backing away, you draw right up, stare them in the eye, and they just, and then it's all over on the nose. And I've seen my brother do this a few times. Being a distributor of thousands of pounds of LSD, because they're very small microdot, certain individuals might or did get it into their head to roll him. And we had a routine. He would go to the toilet, and that's if there were people that were intending to come into an error, roll him, would follow in. This is something out of bloody. Everything's funny and got a cosmic side of it. So these Ebbies, they thought they would go in, and he's at the toilet urinal. And they I'd follow behind. See, I'm behind. I'm back up. Tap him on the shoulder. Yeah, we want a word with you. He just turned round and a quick of a flash, nutted both of them. Oh no, that's it. Nose broken up with a blood. I don't want to know. But then, they were filth drug dealers. They had synthetic drugs on them, right? And that's it. Yeah, he was in their patch, get it? And they were filth. This is the sort of drugs they did deal with. Filth drugs, mandrake, synthetic sleeping pills, heroin, whatever. Filth. My brother didn't deal in that. And so he dragged some out. And I'd follow him. And the publican's there. And the people got, it was early in the morning though, just after the pub had opened, right? But there were people in the pub. And he just treated them as they were, filth. Oh dear. Emptied their pockets out. There's these drugs just spilled on the floor. And then just turned me to me. It's a bit of a joke thing. You had any breakfast yet? I said, no, I ain't, mate. I'm fucking hungry. Well, come on then. And we just left. course, the publican had to call the police, but do you think he was going to mention my brother? He'd done him a favour. Whatever, he probably lied, so I don't know. So I don't know who it was, but anyway, and there was these illegal drugs and they got busted. That's my brother Dave Clark. Well, he got persecuted by the drug squad, same drug squad. Mr. Bird and his associates based in Fareham, and they took him. Oh, it's actually the same incident. Right, back to that quickly. Come on, grab it. Right, so my brother does the leave it, but then this is the twist. They go outside, one of them, and about 10 fucking MPs come in. Again, they've got no jurisdiction. And with these clubs, and yeah, they beat him down, 10-1. There'd have been another angel in there, might have been a bit different. But so he was subdued, or whatever you want to call it. They got hold of him, chucked him in this black Mariah, which again is a military police vehicle, but the judge just turned a blind eye. This is a dirty drug dealer, and they couldn't give a fuck, or he couldn't give a fuck, that my brother was being tortured in the back of that black Mariah. They got his hands and fingers and were pulling them apart. You get me? Torturing him, no other word. And this is the bit. He's in pain. And so there's about 4 of them, get it, 2 on the arms, right, 2 on the legs. I will finish. And right? He kicked out and he got one of them in the eye. Well, that's self-defense in any cunt's book. He's being tortured, kicked out, and he got this policeman in the drug squad officer in the eye, and he got a nice black eye, right? My brother had a medical checkup, and the doctor could see bruises, so he did a thing, and his fingers, I don't think they broke a finger, but it's clear. It was it. Because why? When it went to court, and a lot of people turned up, imagine, they're all basically admitting, yeah, we smoked marijuana and we were fucking there. Get it? But they did, out of honour. And there are women crying. Oh, there are women crying in that court. Because my brother had been assaulted by the police, and it's clear as shit. Why? He got a good lawyer. There was 4 of them, right? None of them would admit that they were holding my brother's hands. And the lawyer was very savvy. I see, so, you went for, you're a PC, DC, whatever, And where were you then? Oh, I was holding his leg. Right? Oh, yeah, and PC saying, where were you? Oh, I was holding his leg. Then he went to the other 2. Now, I'm not sure whether it was no comment or what, but something to that effect. And no one would admit that they were holding his hands, whereas clearly he'd been tortured. Right? And he kind of gave his statement. He said, no, the bastards were. It's probably tempered down a bit because it was written. Clearly, the judge was informed that he was illegally assaulted by the lawyer in proper legal jargon. He got 18 months, and yet he was the one that was being assaulted. So we completely finished the story. From then on, there was a constant vendetta. He was a marked man, right? Because this policeman's promotion was put on hold or whatever, because everyone could see that this wasn't right, but the judge did, convict him, and all this assault stuff was just ignored. So he's a marked man. And that meant not just drug squad officers. Any policeman saw my brother's car and had his number, he was stopped And then the drug squad were probably called in, and the whole car, everybody in the car's out. It was all stripped, you know. But he got away with it. He's very ingenious. LSD is just a little tablet, and he'd hide it within the engine. So he wasn't carrying it anyway, although had it been found, him being the owner car. But that was what he did, you know, religiously. And he'd stripped the car engine himself. It's a Mini. And all the parts have been taken out, painted. It's like a psychedelic. Oh, it's a psychedelic minivan. Okay, right. You know, you can say, what wouldn't have mattered, I've just said his number. Minivans weren't so common then as well. So any minivan, even if it wasn't psychedelic, and they got the car register, you know, right. But his friends, bless them, were getting a bit sick of this because they'd just go out for a Friday night, a concert, whatever. All he worked. He got this van. I was spoiling the story. I bet it's an hour, don't matter. Well, I mentioned that he got a whacking big transit van with all seats in, and his job was to take the other workmen to work. But the perk was he got to keep the van. So at the weekends or in the evenings as well, you know, there's a band on it and whatever. And everyone would just pile around, or he would pick them up and they'd all go out together, you know, smoking in the van and like a party in the van. But anyway, this did start to get to a head. You know, people just, oh, fuck this, you know, I don't want to get busted. You know, such a thing. So his friends deserted him. Sounds familiar? And he ended up, I don't know why or how, I believe I was out the country, yeah. Oh dear, there's guilt there. He got sectioned under the Mental Health Act, but it came to a state, and this all made the papers. He told them, this is my drug. This keeps me sane. That's marijuana. And in a psychiatric hospital, well, they let people smoke tobacco, I might add, and yet that's filth, right? And so as long as he wasn't going around corrupting the other patients, he didn't. His friends had come to visit him, well, some of them, and skin up, right? But the doctor bottled out because basically he's condoning him breaking the law. So, but this is the point. My brother said, look, if you discharge me, I'll kill myself. What life had he got? In the hospital, he could sit in the garden. Police weren't going to bust him there. He's a patient, he's a thing. But if he was discharged, what sort of life? Will he go back to what he'd already experienced? So he threatened to kill himself, all recorded, because they've got to things like that, you know, and slashed his wrists. And then he did, I won't cry because I've been through it, he committed suicide in his van, which he loved, put a pipe on the thing, took some Mandrex, which I suppose knocked him out, and put a brick on the accelerator, and the fumes, you know, just passed out and he died in the hospital grounds. Now that really, excuse my French, is heavy, isn't it? Fucked up my dad. Oh my God, my dad supported him. My dad didn't throw him out because he used to skin up, funny enough, up in the loft. Sacrament. Listen to music. We weren't going out having fights and all this shit that other people were into, and pizzheads. Right? And I was in Spain, but I went to see him just before I left, and he shared with me. He said, "No, they're all this is about his friend. They're all a bunch of cunts, you know. They fucking deserted me, you know, and they've used him because he used to give them marijuana at a good price. You know, they were his friends, as he thought. They were his group. You know, they met socially and all the rest of it." it was distorted, but even so, the other issue is that because he is being hounded by the police for practicing his religion, now we've come on a bit, end on a positive light. A lot of people now realise what marijuana is and always has been. And it was the corrupt police, wrong words, it's not fair. Well, there's only one word. Police authorities, i.e. DEA, right, that were corrupt. And because marijuana was made and kept illegal, they were making a lot of money out of the situation. But now people are wising up. We've got marijuana now legal in quite a lot of countries around the world. Nice one. And if I do get, this lottery winnings, both have won $750,000 plus a Toyota Highlander car. But in 6 weeks, I've had it clear. If it is them, that's it. And I've got all the evidence. I've got the names. I'll probably put them alive. I've got the names of people who I've had sent money to their bank account. Yeah, and these have already been given to the police here. Not all of them. Done fuck all. Well, I'm afraid it's not enough. So they come to your house, now they moan, come on, take all this statement, you give them all this information, they write it all down, and fuck all's done about it. I ain't got any jurisdiction, and we contacted Interbox, this is the local police here, right? And they said, you're not going to do any more. It's on file. Yeah, but fuck all's done about it. So this time, probably different people, but whatever, I've used my pendulum to end on a spiritual note and think, well, someone's got to get these cunts busted. These scam artists, these people who impersonate other people, if that's what's happened. These people, if that's what's happened. And this is this person who got, you're saying that Mark Zuckerberg is a nasty man, and he isn't. I'm not saying that at all, you idiot cunt. What I'm saying is people are possibly impersonating Mark Zuckerberg, and that they are actually Nigerian scam cunt shit that need locking up. And we end on that note. If people in America who deal in marijuana, right, a good way to end this, yeah, they not only get prison sentences wrongly, because it's a sacrament, but they get all their belongings confiscated. And you know what similar happened to me. Thousands of pounds, we end on that, of my herbal matter, which I was making into a sacrament, a shamanic incense, perfectly legal, was destroyed. Oh, I know karmically, you know what I mean? No one gets away with anything. That's the one thing, and going back to the pendulum, that if these people are impersonating Mark Zuckerberg, Kate Tim, various Facebook personnel, ups and that, and they're using their email because they've got the ability to supposedly hack their emails. So it's their email address that I've been in communication with, but was it them that's actually sending the email? And yet I posted my winning certificate on Facebook, over a year ago, and no one's got back to Mark Zuckerberg and pointed out to him, look, these people impersonating you, and this guy, he's disabled, he's a pensioner, and for the last year he spent probably about £3,000. I think you're morally, it's conjecture, to do something about it. And seeing you've got all these billions of pounds, you're perfectly in a position to get something done, if that is the case. Because my pendulum, end on that, has said I consult it, yeah, pay. So whether it's to actually give these people enough rope to hang themselves, because it comes to a head, what's going to happen in 6 weeks' time? That's January the 14th, right? Don't get my car, don't get my winnings, but I've got all the information in this book. I think it's probably a bit of a publicity stunt, although I don't have a lot of time for a lot of the media, right? Because the last issue is I've been sent receipts, supposedly by Mark Zuckerberg. Again, it's probably an impersonation, right? And there are a receipt from the IMF and a receipt from the FBI, supposedly. And that's what I concluded. I will clear off, it's just gone an hour, that's a federal offence, surely. And that does, if that is the case, should instigate the FBI to take some kind of action. Impersonating the FBI, impersonating IMF, that's International Monetary Fund, right? Surely that legitimizes them taking action. They've only got to contact me. Cosmic human, they might not give a fuck about a disabled pensioner such as myself, and they might think, well, he's a fucking idiot, any cunt can see it's a scam. Maybe so. But these people are just getting away with it. So I've taken it to this stage. And on the 16th of January, mate, or just after, because they might come up with some other bullshit, right? I use the vendor. I'm very sorry, Graham, but yes, we did tell you wouldn't have to pay any more money, but now this has run out. Oh, that's it. I've already paid £1,150 to split between the IMF and the FBI, if it was. But then, on these receipts, it said valid for 30 days only. Now, the other issue here, any lawyers watching this, and anyone who sees this, I wasn't told, again, it might not be her, but you see, there's a legal issue here. Well, if Mr. Clark paid this money and you didn't inform him that it was only valid for 30 days, and now you're asking for this payment again, and he's asked you clearly in his email, please can you guarantee that there won't be any extra fees, and a guarantee what time limit I have to pay, which is, I believe it's the 13th of January, then there's legal grounds again. So if there's any lawyers here, because it'd be a big publicity case, like I say, hypothetically, geez, I'm a guy, this is where I've been laid. I can't help that. Portia, William Shakespeare, it's just my whatever. That yes, what's a few £1,000 if I get this filth locked up? Done the community a big service, if that is the case. Again, that is my mind conjecturing, but that's how I say it. Well, Graham, if your pendulum's saying yes, and if you yourself feel this is Mark Zuckerberg and this is filth, right? And these receipts look pathetic, but you're still told to pay. That is, if you like, the line that they've crossed. And I have been told although he hasn't re-identified himself. An FBI agent did contact me and say, yes, this is actually a gang based in Nigeria. Oh, all right. And I'll end on next, it's getting me. The Nigerian government have put aside quite a large sum of money that anyone that's instrumental in getting these people convicted, because they're quite an embarrassment. Well, Nigerian government shall follow every lead. I've got the information. All I want is all my money reimbursed, about £3,000. Yeah. And obviously some kind of, if that is appropriate, reward. And then I'll buy myself a fucking car. Might not be a Jaguar, because that's what I urgently need. A motor, because I've got a junky leg. I could go on. I did apply, I'm getting bothered. Yes, I've applied to PIPS. This is another bunch of cunts. I've got a list this long of medical conditions. Quickly run through it. Diabetes, atrial fibrillation, blood clot in my leg, all medically verifiable. Went to the Citizens' Advice and they put forward my appeal. And I was 2 points short. And apparently the only way I can now contest it, because there wasn't a bit, is a legal matter. Although someone recently has told me, no, if you submit a time and you feel, which I do, that the doctor on the panel, the doctor, I believe, is a useless cosmic cunt and needs striking off, and the other people involved in the panel that made that decision, and that an inquiry needs to be conducted. What are the medical conditions that are considered appropriate for someone to get full mobility allowance? Because I can't see much worse than my condition. Blood clot in my leg, faulty heart, so I can't climb any slope, you know. Anyway, I shall end. I do apologise for those. This had to be done. Thanks, John. See me, yeah, thank you. I know a lot of you don't stay to the end because it's thing, and yeah, there's a gay guy. Say it again, I'm not gay. I'm not interested in any sexual relationships with a man. I might be a bit sexually frustrated because I've been living a reclusive lifestyle, but I have lady friends, although they're in Thailand, Philippines, a bit far away, you know, yeah. And my diabetes, throw that in. Got a bit of an erectile dysfunction through diabetes. The sex drive is channeled into other avenues, but I won't go there. Bye for now. Any feedback, please get back to us. Very interesting, there on ours has actually made a Tulsi plant oil. Check it out online. You'll see that it's got accredited with various medical conditions, but it's also known as a sacred herb. It's called, right at the last minute, holy basil. So it's a form of basil, and it's known and it's considered a very special sacred plant. In Krishna consciousness, the Tulsi plant is on the altar. I did share that, but yeah, it's considered a very evolved plant. It has its own deva, just as marijuana has its own deva. And yes, according to my pendulum, I've only taken this medication today, actually. And it'll take a while to clear up diabetes, but I do feel good on it. It's apparently got antidepressant anyone interested, check out the Tulsi plant. Check out Magic Butter Machines, or this other. That is an oil infuser. So you put your oil in, you put your herbs in, you set a temperature. It does it at a warm temperature and a time for a good medicinal preparation, 8 hours. But it's all automated, and there's a little chopper mixer, if you like, comes on for 10 seconds about every whatever, but it's all automated for you. And then at the end of the day, all you've got to do is filter the oil and the herbal mix, and they provide you with a big bag filter, and you get a glove, although you can let it, like I do, to cool right down. And then you squeeze it like that into a bowl, extract every drop here, and then you put it into a good glass pouring jug, and then you get brown coloured because it preserves it, protects it, whatever, from light. And you get these bottles, not with a spray, because you won't be able to spray the oil, it'd be too thicker, but you can get like I've got a dispenser for oils. It can be either massage oil, but it's coloured. Then the coup de grace, because any medical preparation you put under a pyramid, anything, and that's synthetic drugs, that's radioactive material, and it will neutralise that. So you put that and keep it under your pyramid, and you can take it as an oil, either putting it under your tongue with a pipette, and that sends an instant message to your brain. That's a good way to take it. If you take it through your stomach wall and that, it can take hours possibly even for it to affect you, but you put it under your tongue. Oil, it's fantastic. And then you, after a minute or so, rinse it down. You can put it in your coffee and your tea if you have a adequate supply. It goes very tasty. Tulsi is used as a tea, so it is just junk on its own anyway. And not a big 100-gram bag. I've got it online, but it's not very expensive, and it's worth checking out. Make your own medicine. Yeah. Because if you buy these things, they can talk like CBD oil. Get a little 10 ml thing. Of course, you can make your own. Get the right hemp, put it in this machine, put a litre of oil in, leave it for 8 hours, and you've got your own CBD oil. Put a whole litre. Okay, check it out. Almost. It's now, nearly 8 o'clock. Although, according to this, it's 1 hour and 20 minutes. Bye for now.